We're exactly 3 weeks away from the announcement of a World Expo 2030 venue. We take a look at how Busan City's final push to become the host aligns with the country's pursuit of balanced regional development. What's behind South Korea's firm push to organize the 2030 edition? How is Busan City offering a vision for a sustainable future through the global event? And how will hosting of World Expo 2030 expand South Korea's seeking a balanced regional growth? Busan City is hitting the final stretch of its 2030 World Expo campaign. And it's more than just becoming host. South Korea is also looking to nurture a balanced regional growth on that occasion. Joining me to discuss is Professor Hyun-sun. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And also Kwon, welcome.
Good to see you, Tommy.
Professor, I want to start with you. President Yoon Suk Yeol has shared his hopes of hosting the 2030 World Expo of Solidarity in Busan. Now, what's the significance of that?
The theme of the 2030 Busan Expo is transforming our world and navigating a better future. I think that under that theme, there are two important agendas. One is digital transformation. Nowadays, we experience about ChatGPT and the generative AI. So everything is changed to the digitalization. So first issue is about the transforming the digital world. And second thing is maybe environmental issue because climate change is happen. So under our all the country and then maybe under this expo, we need to work together. We should make effort together how to respond to the challenges such as climate change and the digitalization issue. So I think the solidarity President Yoon mentioned is about that kind of solidarity. The second solidarity we have because Busan has experience underdeveloped history and then the civil war, Korean civil war, at the same time the developed country as now we are one of the leading country in the world. So this is well mixed maybe place about underdeveloped and the developed and the future and the past. So this is another maybe rhetoric about the solidarity. So I think the theme of the Busan Expo is maybe is about that solidarity.
Right. So speaking of solidarity, tackling climate change, environmental issues in general applies to almost every country in the world.
Right.
Now, before we delve deeper into those environmental issues, so what are some of the projected economic gains that we can get from hosting the World Expo in Busan?
61 trillion won, or roughly $47 billion is the number that's predicted in terms of economic benefits of the 2030 Busan World Expo. And breaking this enormous figure down a little bit, that's some 43 trillion won worth of induced production and 18 trillion won in added value. Also, 56.5 trillion won out of the total 61 is expected to be generated during the 6-month event itself, and the rest during the preparation period from 2027 to 2030. And of the expected revenue during the expo period, 97% of economic value is predicted to be derived from the visitors directly and indirectly. We're in fact expecting some 50.5 million visitors. The profits from the event are believed to outrun those of Olympics and World Cups by 2 to 3 times. And a little more detail on the various forms of economic benefits. That could be job creations. In fact, some 500,000 new jobs are estimated. A boost in tourism, profits from new infrastructure, facilities, increased consumer spending, etc. Of course, we should also consider the expenditures to realize this global event, which is 6.5 trillion won, or $5 billion, which is expected to be spent through 2030. But with a return of 61 trillion won, definitely worth it. Now, even if Busan does not end up winning the bid, experts do say there will be economic gains just from the fact that South Korea was a candidate for this, and especially because all of the promotion has already significantly increased South Korea's, or rather Busan's, brand value internationally.
Definitely. So more job opportunities, making local tourism vibrant, and also more local spending here in South Korea. Professor Choi, let's talk about it from the regional perspective. What are some other broader benefits of hosting the event?
Definitely, the Busan will have the broader benefits of this event. Especially, Busan will have a dignity as a world leading the city. Okay, and the second thing is maybe economic benefit also very important. Also nowadays we are talking about the mega city issue, mega region, which is not only Busan but there are Ulsan and Gyeongnam area. So this is a big one, the mega region, and we'll have all the benefit and shared together. So this is a quite important event for the regional development, and at the same time our dignity will rise up.
Definitely. It also gives South Korea to really upgrade its dignity, like you said, and also the public image and national prestige, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Right. And Professor Choi, I want to stay with you. Another requirement for the host city to do is solve economic, environmental issues, like you mentioned earlier. Then how is Busan actually doing that for now?
I think that there is some issue about the environmental, and then when the selecting committee visited Busan, they also talk about that, and Busan responded very well. But there are many promises and pledges by the Busan about we will do this, we will do that. But in the same time, we should have many implementation plan and how we can complete the promise about the environment issue. So there are some examples now recently maybe announced by the government, which is there will be only like green mobility we will use, like electronic car and then the hydrogen fueled cars and trams. And then when we build, like a construction issue, when you build the buildings, all the material based on the carbon neutral system, which is very innovative in this current situation. So I think the 2030 is not that far away, but very ambitiously now the Busan and our government announced there's a carbon neutral approach about this environmental issue. We should keep that word if we select it, but this is a very challenging announcement in the world about how we thinking about the environment.
Definitely. And also, as a city that's a port city that's exposed to severe weather conditions, typhoons, I'm sure Busan knows how to handle those situations as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And also, Busan Mayor Park Hyun-sun also joined the wagon and saying that Busan Expo will be a new chapter for South Korea in terms of, physical and also virtual form. Let's talk about those, what he means by those.
Right. First, in regards to its physical form, the proposed main expo venue, the Busan North Port redevelopment project, has already gained a lot of attention. The huge old port is Korea's biggest port that, after its large-scale transformation, will be set up with expo facilities like hip cultural exhibition pavilions, recreational service posts, spots that is, and the Busan Opera House, modern office spaces, and more. For those people who are not able to make a visit to Busan in person, for the first time in BIE's expo history, the event will be jointly held in physical and cyberspace. All exhibitions and pavilions will be replicated into a metaverse world so that everyone can join from anywhere. And following the COVID-19 era in particular, I think people will like the idea with hardly any repulsion. And this initiative aims to demonstrate how this innovation can bring the world together without physical limitations. And to give you a peek into the technology we can expect at the expo, with the port city's goal being a carbon-neutral expo, eco-friendly technology will be promoted immensely, with hydrogen and electric vehicles to run around the venues and renewable energy used for lights and the right temperatures inside the pavilions. Artificial intelligence will provide convenience for visitors with, for instance, AI avatars lining up instead of you, drones delivering packages, and personal AI planners are going to make it easy to schedule your visit at at the expo venue. So they will decide in which order it would be best for you to be at what time. Organizers with these technologies in mind are hoping to demonstrate that these new experiences are not limited to the big event, but can be applied to everyday life in the future around the world.
Those are very all exciting. As a person who lived in Busan for a while, I can say these upgrades in transportations are not just new to foreigners or visitors, but also to locals as well. So welcoming for all.
Right. Let's hope that this will, make your next visit to your hometown another bigger experience.
Definitely. Professor Choi, I want to ask you, what are your personal thoughts of Busan's personal hopes of hosting the event?
That's very tough call. But as Soa explained about the vision about the Busan Expo, maybe probably that is very attractive. Also, nowadays Hallyu, the K-pop is very popular. So many world people thinking about Korea, and Busan is one of the very strong candidates. Maybe Busan has a good chance of maybe selecting, but still we need a strategy, because in the reality maybe Saudi Arabia and then Italy is a very strong candidate, and then they are well known in the worldwide. So that is why we need maybe strategy. So the selecting the process is like a first round. Any city who has 2/3 of the voting, he can be the city will be selected. But if not, there are second round. So which is we must be the top 2 city, and then in the second round we need like upside down or the underdog the issue. We should make it in the second round, but in the first round it is very hard. But it is 3 weeks away only, so it is a very critical time. But maybe our president and our people they will go to the Paris, where the selection meeting held. So I hope that works very well, and that they can marketing the Busan well. Then it has a maybe good result, and that, as I said, we can go to second round and we be selected.
Definitely. That would be still a great accomplishment for South Korea.
Still, yeah.
Exactly, still. Yeah. Now, so we talked about the environmental issues that South Korea has to tackle to become or win the bid. Now, what are some diplomatic merits that South Korea can actually, gain or garner from hosting the event down in Busan City?
Well, while expos actually started with a focus on the promotion of industries, the participation in these global events served more and more as an opportunity for cooperation in culture, economy, as well as political fields, leading to a natural increase in diplomatic significance at these expos. For Korea, the expo offers an opportunity to further solidify the country's position as a central global player, and thereby expand its influence on the international stage. Pundits say the event would also highlight South Korea's strategic importance in global affairs. Now, with the country's economic, cultural, and technological potentials showcased at the venue, states that recognize these capabilities would open up to foster deeper relations, which then would boost South Korea's international influence. And even before the expo diplomacy leading up to the vote is also one of the diplomatic gains a country earns. President Yoon Suk Yeol's numerous summits with leaders around the world, and also Foreign Minister Park Jin meeting with his counterpart, and Busan Mayor Park Hyung-sun also, whenever foreign delegates were visiting South Korea, he invited them down to Busan as well. So definitely the diplomatic influence is going up, leading up to the vote as well. And speaking of Busan's mayor, during an interview, he did mention that profound benefits are already being witnessed in the bidding process, as it has helped Korea to transcend its conventional diplomatic ties into more substantial diplomatic ties, and that could possibly also give birth to new partnerships, for instance, in economy.
Definitely. Professor Choi, you mentioned this earlier. We're less than a month away from the final announcement in Paris, and it's highly likely President Yoon Suk Yeol will be there to, await for that final call. Now, what do you think Busan or South Korea needs to do for the next 3 weeks? What's the most urgent task we have to tackle?
We must maybe marketing ourselves more. Like Busan, people in the Busan, they can do the many ways, like using the SNS or the some other way. Maybe Busan is a good place for the our world event, such as World Expo 2030. So probably all Korean people maybe want to have the 2030 Expo in Korea. So we must show our passion. That is maybe only way, because every maybe everything we already on the table, which is environment issue, technology issue, economy issue, everything is on the table. So most country knows about that. So now that we should show that maybe we need, and then maybe Korea can play an important role, global solidarity, and making more the peaceful way. Because nowadays in the world there are two wars. One is Israel and Palestine, the other is Ukraine and Russia. This is a very dangerous time. Everybody worrying about that. But we are experienced civil war, and we are experiencing colonized history. So it is very important. Maybe we are maybe one of the key country to show how we can peacemaking a better future.
Definitely. President Yoon Suk Yeol, large conglomerates here in South Korea, have been on those diplomatic missions to promote Busan as the host city. Maybe it is time for now locals to really advertise and put ourselves out there.
Right.
Now, so beyond Busan, though, President Yoon Suk Yeol has proposed plans to foster regional growth development here in South Korea. Now, what's the latest on that front?
Right, just as Korea is hoping that Busan is going to become a worldwide known city, with now probably most of the global citizens more aware of the capital Seoul, the Yoon administration has been emphasizing decentralization and balanced growth across the nation, given the fact that there is too much of a concentration in the metropolitan region, also in terms of the population. Now, last week, President Yoon Suk Yeol visited a ceremony for local autonomy and balanced development in the city of Daejeon, where he stressed the importance of equal access to quality education and healthcare outside the metropolitan region. So calling for so-called education innovation, President Yoon vowed for the central government's transfer of authority to local governments and also pledged for more opportunities through the establishment of special development zones, high-tech industrial complexes, and digital innovation districts. And these would attract local companies and create more jobs outside the metropolitan area. And again, he stressed that education and medical care is actually the most important factor to consider for workers when relocating to regional areas. He also promised tax and regulatory benefits to companies that relocate out of the capital area on the occasion of this ceremony, which marked the inaugural day of local autonomy and balanced development. And this was established back in July. Now, this is also in line with recent efforts by the ruling party to incorporate Gimpo and maybe other cities adjacent to the capital Seoul into Seoul, and also looking for ways to merge other regions together, as Professor Choi also earlier mentioned regarding the so-called mega city projects.
Definitely. This is where we turn to Professor Choi. What do you propose needs to be done to, better support government plans to ensure that balanced regional growth here in South Korea?
Right. As Soa explained about the big event in the Daejeon, it's a very important big step toward more decentralized, balanced maybe growth. But we need to change something. Because of too much wealth and authority and power in the central government, which is Seoul has more power, more wealth. That means the local area has a less power and less wealth. So we need transforming our government system from the central government to the local government. And the way of the decision making should be not top down, but should be bottom up. This is a very simple rule, but we have worked maybe many years. We try to put in that the administration system, but still administration system is not that way. So, which is a Yoon administration, is President Yoon realized about there's a very important good announcement in the Daejeon, but how it work is a very in the detail is a very difficult. So, more making transparent government and not top down, but the bottom up process is we need it.
In a nutshell, it's all about keeping the balance.
Yes, that's the balance also.
All right, Professor Choi, thank you so much for your insights this afternoon, and also thank you so as always.
My pleasure.
All right, we thank you for watching Issues and Insiders. Stay safe wherever you are.